Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very pleased to be here with Danylo Tsvok, who's Ukraine's Chief AI Officer. So we're going to speak about the geopolitics of AI, and I know that Clara is going to join us in a few seconds or minutes. I do think she's coming right now. So we're going to begin in a few. So we're going to speak about the geopolitics at an age where AI is reshaping global power dynamics, impacting disinformation, cybersecurity, online safety, and strategic autonomy. So this conversation is going to look at how AI is becoming a geopolitical tool and what it means for security, trust, resilience in a fragmented digital world. When did you arrive from Ukraine? When did you arrive?
Everything all right? Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. So we arrived yesterday in the evening. Yeah, first of all, we need to say that now Ukraine are in the condition of war. So if we're talking about geopolitical influence of AI, it's really important questions, and it's about also opportunities and at the same time about the risks. And
welcome, Clara.
Yeah.
Welcome, Clara, Ambassador for Artificial Intelligence and Digital Affairs at the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs.
Sorry,
we just arrived.
I teletransported myself from Bercy.
You were at Bercy, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the bikes lane are amazing in Paris.
Thank you so much for being with us, and I thanked as well Danylo. So he just comes from Ukraine, and the first question would be for Danylo, as we are speaking about geopolitics of AI. Danylo, you're the Ukraine's Chief AI Officer, so you lead the country's national AI initiatives during a strange time, right, of great political tension. How do you define AI sovereignty, and what do you believe it is crucial for national security and democratic resilience, Danylo?
Thank you. First of all, I want to briefly outline our vision. I mean, from the point of view of Ukraine, for the last 6 years, Ukraine undergone the way that other country can go for at the end of years. So we moved from the 102nd position in the ranking of quality services for citizens to the 5th position. And since that time, our mission has evolved. And now our mission sounds like transforming from the digital state to agentic state. It's our current vision of transformation. And if we are talking about AI, about agentic-based solution, about the services that we want to proactively deliver to the citizens, we need to understand the audience to which we deliver this solution, about, I mean, the scale. And it's about the 23+ million people to which we deliver our AI-based solution. And we can talk about the scales without security questions, without data protection, without ensuring the AI sovereignty.
Yeah, and I was impressed in preparing this interview because you built your own LLM, right?
I think if I talk about the AI sovereignty, there are both important streams. First of all, it's about building national large language model. I mean, Ukrainian national large language model. And from other hand, it's about creating internal computing capacity, like a local infrastructure. And it's a next big project in Ukraine. So we're now in the progress of creating AI factory. It's about creating a top-tier hardware computing capacity, which we will use for ensuring the compute power for our AI-based public solutions.
Clara, thank you, Danylo. Clara, you're preparing the AI summit in India, and my question would be also about sovereignty. To what extent is it important to have its own tools in these particular times?
Yeah, thank you. Apologies again for being late. Glad to be joining the conversation. I mean, a year ago, exactly a year ago, we were all gathered in this room for the AI Action Summit that Paris hosted, France hosted. And the reason for that, because you can think, oh, why do we need a diplomatic summit on AI? Like, this is a technology at the end. But because, and Ukraine is probably the greatest example of that, you all know if you're in this room how much AI is transforming basically everything. There's probably a technological revolution of such every century. And because, and again, Ukraine is a powerful example, it does transform everything from our own security as states with the potential for defense, to how do you deliver public services, to access to education, to obviously impact on the planet. We believe that it was very important to gather as many people as possible here to just have very serious, engaging discussion on where do we want this technology to go. Because to your question, we have kind of two options. Either we do as we've done before when it comes to tech, meaning, and we all see the results of it today when we are spending hours and hours on social networks, which are basically capturing our attention and making money based on their capacity to have dominated this market. So either we do that, meaning we let the technology getting developed in the hands of a few handful of companies, private companies. Either we decide globally that this is a technology that is so transformative, that has so much impact potential, that we're all going to come together and build our sovereignty. So what does it mean? I mean, you hear about sovereignty all the time. To us, it's not about closing doors, and that's exactly why we need diplomatic agenda on AI. It's about defining where you want this technology to go, and you talked about building your own infrastructure. Obviously, this is something that is very important for France as well, because you can't have a strong voice outside if you're not strong inside. This is the first part of sovereignty. So building our own capacity, and that's what's been done in France, which actually attracted last year the top foreign investment when it comes to infrastructure. You probably remember, for those of you who are here, the 109 billion euros announcement in building AI data infrastructure in France, thanks to our nuclear energy. This is a very strong example on how we are building capacity, but we are also building it in a way that makes AI more sustainable, which is also aligned with how we want this technology to get developed, because we have nuclear energy. So everything is aligned with the whole like plug, baby plug story from last year. But then, because we're building our own capacity, it allows us to also reach out to build alliances with countries all around the world. We also don't want to be stuck between a duopoly of American tech on the one hand and Asian tech on the other hand. And by partnering together, and that's what we are also going to do in India, to bring AI to the greatest number of people in the greatest number of fields. So healthcare, obviously, sustainability is one big one, education, the impact on kids. If we're all going to partner and build our own capacity and partner to build stronger capacity, because we do that together, then we have a much stronger stance and a much stronger shot at building this technology in the way we want it.
Being partners help you build the infrastructure together. We'll see that in the future. But both of you fight against disinformation, cyber threats, for example. Could you tell us how you do that, and maybe how the partnership could help you fighting against it?
Yeah, well, first of all, previously you mentioned why we are creating the national large language model. Because first of all, if we're talking about the, let's say, the state DNA, yeah, or something like that, it's about the models which include the cultural aspect, the historical aspect. It means that at the same time, it excludes some misinformation that can be delivered by this model, and it's very important. We know that, for instance, animals create different networks with trying to inject some information in large language models, and from that point, it's very important to have the one source of truth, like a national large language model, which you can use and operate inside the country in the public cases, in defense, and at the same time, it's like, you know, it's a foundational layer that provides you guarantee that you can deliver right information without any misinformation. So I think it's very important point.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say we do the same. Say, obviously, when you're thinking about all the greatest thing you can do with AI that I just mentioned, you also have to consider all the not that great things that can happen. And definitely the access to information and the integrity of information is one major focus and one major topic for our country and beyond. I was with OECD last week, and that was the theme of the conversation between governments and tech companies, because there's so much at risk when it comes to protecting our democracy. Maybe like generating deepfakes. I'm sure everyone in this room has been confronted with a video where even if you know so much about AI, you're like, is that real or is that fake? And we're educated about that stuff. Obviously, it has a huge impact on the population, including and especially during times where you go to election. To obviously the manipulation of algorithm that can arrive with AI. And 3, everything this technology can do, poisoning of data. I mean, you name it, you know better than anyone if you're here with us today. So what do we do about that? One, we build our own capacity, same. So we invest since 2018. France has been pushing for a national strategy on AI, investing in research, investing in infrastructure, investing in talents, building an amazing ecosystem, and a lot of companies have been built here in Station F, so thanks for them, because we need them. And 2, we share expertise. So that's something we've done, France and Ukraine, very much on cyber, how to detect better cyber attacks, how to work together to combat those attacks. This is something that we can all learn from each other. And we do it in a way that is actually beneficial to both sides by bringing our companies in the game. So it's not about just doing diplomacy for the sake of doing diplomacy. It's also doing diplomacy to share expertise and make sure that our companies can bring the best to the countries we want to partner with. So in the example of cyber, take a very concrete example. The Minister Jean-Noël Barrot, Foreign Affairs, last December, announced that we are getting cyber companies from France to equip Ukraine administrations with some mechanism of supporting those companies financially. So it's kind of aligning, having the best companies, so creating our own strengths, working with our partners and allies to develop joint capacity, and bringing our companies in the game so that it reinforces the loop. So that's how we're building basically everything we're thinking of when we're thinking of building our own sovereignty of AI and cyber and all the fields where we need to be quite a few people in the room to get things going.
Thank you. And in terms of cyber, we have the feeling we are already at war, right? It's always increasing, right? Looking ahead, Clara, you're also preparing the G7 summit in Evian and the Africa Forward summit. To what extent could it change the game? What are your ambitions on these summits?
Yeah, it's going to be a very intense diplomatic year for France. Obviously, there is the AI Action Summit in India next week, where we're all going to be gathered, the Team France, to take this voice of, and I hope I can see my Irish friends in Delhi tomorrow, who just arrived next week, trying to convince her to join. But then we are going to have a summit in Africa called Africa Forward, which is basically looking at the same thing. How do we come together as a group of countries to build joint capacity, to get our startups to work together and companies to work together, to build internal capacity on cyber, on AI, on all those different things, and to build infrastructure, because we also have amazing companies in France. You talked about sustainability and AI. The likes of Veolia, of Engie, all those companies who are part of this big coalition for sustainable AI, they can bring best of their talent and knowledge and expertise to build infrastructure that is going to be better for the planet and less costly to install because it's more sustainable. So we're going to do that the whole year, and mostly the G7 presidency that France is hosting this year will be the occasion for us to really bring these ideas forward, how to get AI to the entire society and companies, how to build common capacity, and that's something that is close to my heart, also how to look at the risks it causes on children, because we cannot wait 15 years that kids are going to get damaged with chatbots. And when we're looking at what happens with social networks, we need to get on this one now.
Very important fight. A very last question for you, Danylo. You're fighting against disinformation, cyber attacks. You're investing in drones, lots of way to fight from day to day. How could people in the room, they want to help, how can they do? And what are the best way to help you?
Thank you. First of all, I fully agree that we need to talk about the partnership for exchanging of expertise from the perspective of AI, I think Ukraine now is the best place which can fast delivery all the type of solutions. So we understand that we have the political will for the AI implementation. We can move fast. We can implement AI. We can take risks to understand how to use new AI solutions, because we understand that in our environment, in our conditions now, the highest type of risk don't take the risks. So we will really appreciate the support, and we are really open for cooperation, for the common works, for exchange of experience, and we are truly believe that together we can solve all the problems. And the next big things that we truly believe that we create the next big thing, which will be important for all AI community. That's all.
Okay, and people can come to talk to you right now. That's all what we have the time for. Thank you so much, Clara. Thank you, Danylo.
Thank you.
And now we're gonna speak about the AI strategies with the ministers and Ocean. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you.